Orange House of Death, Part 4.
Welcome to Part 4. I suggest you watch the previous parts of this series before continuing. So, let's begin Part 4 of The Orange House of Death. In Part 3, I explain all about the orange symbolism of the Paris attacks on Friday the 13th, 2015 at the Bataclan Theatre. I showed how this is related to 9/11, or November, which is the 11th month of the Amber Orange of Death. In the 11th month of Orange, we have the terrorist attacks at the Bataclan, which dates back to 11/11, November 11th. Just as we saw on the 9/11 attacks, where the long-time owners sell just prior to the attacks, the Jewish owners of the Bataclan Theatre sold it just prior to the attacks in September 2015. Like I said, this is an orange sun sacrifice. The Eagle of Death, which is the house of Scorpio. The eagle that slays the serpent sun. This is why the group's colors use orange. The group that was playing on stage during the attacks was called the Eagles of Death Metal. The song they were playing was called Kiss the Devil. As I explained earlier, Judas is the house of Scorpio, the one that stings the sun and gives it the kiss of death, which is why Judas is said to have kissed Jesus, the scorpion sting, the kiss of death. Now you understand about the group called Judas Priest, the screaming for vengeance, and of course the devil. Now you will understand the meaning of the cover, the Judas orange sun with the eagle. This is why they show you the symbol of the lightning bolt, the rune symbol of the sun. Thunder and lightning mark the season of winter, the force of God that overtakes the summer sun. The symbol of El, Baal and Zeus, the storm god of thunder and lightning. Zeus, or Jesus, or Jesus. The Paris attacks occurred in the month of Orange, the month of November, the 9/11. Friday the 13th is symbolic to Freemasonry by way of the Knights Templars, on October 13, 1303. 13 represents death and rebirth. The 13th hour becomes the new first hour. This 13th hour is known as the witching hour of death and sacrifice. So, when we hear the words of Friday the 13th, it installs fear and thoughts of the Hollywood horror film called Friday the 13th. We think of death and fear, and we also think of Halloween, the eve of the even, the 11th month, which makes us see orange. Jason means the moon, and the Scorpio sun, in its orange state of dying in the fall, the amber ember months. The Eagles of Death were playing Kiss the Devil because this is the seasonal time of betrayal who gives God's Son, the kiss of death. Jesus is 13 the sun, plus his 12 helpers or houses. The 11th hour is also the last hour, therefore represents death, sacrifice and slaughter. The division of the two, which is where the word die comes from, to be split in two, which is the meaning of the zodiac, or the animal zoo, dia, the cutting into angled houses of the wheel. 11 is the last hour, just like the Illuminati number of 23, the 2 threes, of the even of 11. The Illuminati always leaves their hidden cards of clues. All of these major events manifested symbolic numerology, like we saw on 9/11, or the London 7/7 bombings and so on. Once again, these Paris attacks manifested sacred numerology like the number of the elite, the number 11, or the even. Now you know why French President François Hollande declared a state of emergency when the clock struck 11. As I stated before, this is a ritual of sun sacrifice in the orange month of November, the orange month of Black Death. On the 11th hour, the President of France declares an amber-orange emergency. The 11th hour is the last hour, the orange warning before the end of time, the end of the age in the decline of nature just before its symbolic death at the end of the year. The 11th Hour is a documentary film, created, produced and narrated by Leonardo DiCaprio, on the state of the natural environment, which of course is all about the death of the Earth. It was released in the opposite time of the year, in the Illuminati month of May. The human footprint, which is actually the symbol of the elite stomping on the Earth, smashing us with their dominant influence, smashing the spherical globe flat. They have smashed our freedoms, because they have such a tight clap on us, they can use our ignorance against ourselves. They show us the Earth being stepped on, the dirty foot of the elite, stepping on our souls. They warn us with the 11, the last warning before sacrifice and death. Most people are aware of the Illuminati card game that came out before 9/11, yet foretold of these Illuminati events beforehand. Take a look at the card called Combined Disasters. Notice that the clock is set at 11:11. Also you will notice the warning colors of the amber embers of orange. The combined Paris attacks, in the orange month of November, the 11th month, at the 11th hour. Let me explain about the J, Suis, Charlie, which in French means, I am, Charlie. The sound is confusing, but when you look at the French words of I am, Charlie, it symbolizes Jesus, or Ehyeh, Zeus. In the Bible, the Hebrew God El tells Abraham that his name is, Ehyeh Asher, which means, I am. This is why so many famous singers name their albums with, I am. I have also explained all about the char, or the amber, embers of the black charcoals of death. Lie means to lay down low in a lying death position. Charles is the Charlie and the chocolate factory, the liar, because a charlatan makes elaborate, fraudulent claims. This is why you have the trickster character, the Joker, the two-faced liar whose color includes orange. Now you know why we have the trickster, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for example. That's why Willy Wonka has a purple coat and an orange hat. You might be wondering why I am, including Charlie Brown from the Peanuts. Well, first of all, Charlie Brown helped introduce young America to the ancient ritual holiday of Samhain, known as Halloween. This is why the Peanuts are related to the color of Halloween, which is the color of orange. If you look back to the 50s, you'll see that Charlie Brown was actually depicted with the amber-orange colors, and over time his colors changed to a golden yellow. Charlie Brown is synonymous with the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas. Charlie Brown is the orange-colored one, and the Peanuts comic strip first ran on October 2, 1950, just before Halloween. Hollywood just released the new Peanuts movie in 2015, in none other than the month of November, the 11th month of Orange. Would you believe that this film is actually set in the city of Paris? Now, let's continue with Charlie. J. Suis, Charlie, which in French means, I am Charlie. We all know that Jesus or Ehyeh, Zeus, was the sun sacrifice, betrayed in the month of the eagle, the scorpion orange house, of Scorpio. One of the combined attacks on Paris was the Charlie Hebdo office. This was another staged event by the elite elders of the Illuminati. During the 11th hour of the 7th day of the new year, 11 people were killed, and other 11 injured. Again, the 11-11-11, November or 9/11. Don't forget that this was also in the 11th district of Paris, France. Obvious propaganda from the elite of the even of 11.